Hello, I'm Jonathan Shimko, President of the American Society of Civil Engineers, Pittsburgh section. I'm here with Isabel Lee, the Region 2 Student of the Year. I'm excited to have a little bit of time with Isabel. She's currently co-oping with Nicholson Construction and excited to just hear about her experiences. She's the current president of the University of Pittsburgh Student Chapter. I've had the opportunity of working with her throughout her term as president and look forward to continuing that into the future. So Isabel, thanks for joining me and
Yeah,
talking with the section.
yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, and congratulations.
Thank you.
So speaking of student of the year, let's get going. I got an email from the Region 2 governors saying that you were selected as student of the year. I know the first person I told was you. I'm curious, who was the first person that you told when you were notified?
So I texted two people immediately. I texted last year's president of Pitt AC, which is Kate Dior. She was sort of, mentored me through the year before my actual term of being president of Pitt AC. So we got really close, and a lot of sort of my leadership style is based off what she did the year prior. And I also actually texted my ASC mentor, Sonia Panic as well, as soon as I found out. So those two, and then my parents, of course. But
Yeah, well, that's great. That's great. It's good to share with friends, colleagues, and obviously family. Um, so um, you're at the University of Pittsburgh. Why did you choose civil engineering, and maybe even more specifically, why did you choose civil engineering at the University of Pittsburgh?
so originally, I'm from New Jersey, and I wanted something a little bit different, but not too far away. And so Pitt was a really great distance for me that way. Um, and I also wanted to be within a city, but still kind of have that campus feel. And I do think Pitt does a really great job of that. And then why specifically civil engineering? I really liked bridges as a kid and sort of building with Legos. So it just seemed like a good fit, good at math and science. It was interesting. And so we just kind of ran with it. And here we are.
Excellent, great. I'll be honest. I still build with Legos. I actually got over the pandemic. I think I've built 2 or 3 kits. So.
Yeah, no, me as well. As soon as the pandemic hit, I was like, okay, we got to find something to fill the time with. So,
Yep. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, Legos are definitely an influence on me too. So speaking of things we have in common and things we like to do, I know that throughout my life I had influences that made me help direct my path. So how about you? Who's someone that you look up to or has inspired you?
so my parents obviously definitely, since raising me as a child, I learned a lot from them. Both of them, went to school in Texas, and that's how they met. And my dad's actually a professor and works at NYU, so school is always really important. And that's something that I've kind of carried through. And I also have learned a lot about. It kind of taught me a lot about social justice and how it's important how we treat people, and making sure to make everything as equal as we can and to help out others who aren't as fortunate as us. So that's something I've carried through in my 20 years of being on Earth. And then in terms of civil engineering, yeah, my mentor Sonia, who I talked about earlier, and Kate as well, both people I've looked up to, as well as anyone in ASC. I think my peers are great role models for all of us, and a few professors, specifically Dr. Sachs at Pitt, as well as Dr. Bunger, who's our faculty advisors. Um, Not only in the classroom are they super great, but outside, if you ever need help, not only with homework, but just in general, sort of advising, they're both really great. And they're always willing to lend a hand. And it's something that I've, wanted to continue sort of that style of always being there,
Yeah.
for everyone. So.
It's good. It's good to have that support structure, like you mentioned, family, which I can tell is very near and dear and strong, like strong family ties to you. But then having that support structure when you're away from home, like you said, your advisors, and I know many of the faculty at Pitt. I've worked with them at some level, and they do truly care about their students and their
Yeah.
success. So I would echo that. Um, Talking about like coursework and your student life, do you have a crowning achievement, like what you've done so far in your, I'll call it relatively short career, we'll call it a career. What's your pinnacle moment so far?
School wise, the first thing that comes to my head is probably getting an A in mechanics of materials. Last spring, that was a good achievement, as well as, being elected to president of ASC was super, that was a really big achievement for me as well. I'm a junior right now. I'm the youngest president we've had in years, maybe ever. We don't really know. But that was a big achievement for me, and I was really proud of that. As well as this award was, sort of the cherry on top of all of the hard work over the past 2 years now. Sort of that was really great. And then, yeah, I think that the A in mechanics of materials school wise was pretty good too.
It's good. It's a tough course. Yeah, that's good stuff, and that leads into kind of the next thing, that when you're highlighting career, you're saying it's early, you are young, but I think at this day and age, like anyone can be an influencer now. Like I found out that like I follow like high school kids on Instagram that I thought were much older than they were, and found out that they have like millions of followers in high school, which just kind of blows my mind. But I think that you're in a great place to provide any kind of advice. Do you have any advice for civil engineers?
Yeah, so one of the biggest pieces of advice is that I've sort of learned more as I've gotten to experience co-op with Nicholson is you are constantly learning. As soon as you graduate out of school, you don't know everything. The profession is always changing because the world is developing rapidly in different ways. And, as civil engineers, we follow that change and adapt to that. So you're constantly learning in this profession. It never really does get boring. There's always something new. Um, that's probably my biggest piece of advice that I was told as a freshman in engineering, and I can say it's very true.
It's very, very true, Izzy. I think, yeah, you're never too old to learn,
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I think, yeah, if you're not moving forward, you're moving backwards. And I think that's a great piece of advice that uh, can apply to not just civil engineers, but anyone in life, is to take advantage of every day and learn something every day. So, what what is one of your favorite things about like being an ASCE member, like particularly a student ASCE member?
Um, so there's a few. All the opportunities that ASC has given me. I've traveled across the country for conferences. I've heard different technical talks as well as networked with people from all over the world. It's been super beneficial professionally in my development, but also apart from that, um, what's on top is just like the people you meet. Some of my best friends are from ASC. The exec board, especially at Pitt, we're all pretty close, and that's how we function. We function all as a team. So I think, yeah, the opportunities have been fantastic. Getting to learn from all different kinds of people about civil engineering and the profession, but then also just the people itself has been fantastic. Um, I'm friends with, my professors who have mentored me, and then also just people in the profession in general from the Pittsburgh section, everything, you know, and then my peers and classmates as well. Yeah, we're all closer. It's a good community to have behind you.
Completely agree. I think life is all about that network and people helping people. Company I work for, that's our motto, our kind of our mission statement is that we're all just people helping people, and I think that's important. I saw a webcast or something where that Arnold Schwarzenegger was saying at a graduation ceremony that he wasn't he didn't accomplish any of those things. He had help along the way. It wasn't his accomplishments, it was the accomplishments of everyone that helped him. So, and I thought that was
Right.
really a humbling thing that he said, that coming from, an immigrant that also became the governor of California, and a huge
Yeah.
star. So great advice. Um, so being, a young civil engineer, I'm sure you probably have friends at school that maybe aren't engineers.
Yep.
Are there things that you wish people knew about civil engineering maybe that they don't know or they don't understand?
I think like the biggest thing is what, a lot of people are just like, what even is civil engineering? When they hear chemical or mechanical, they kind of have a sense of it because I feel like those are pretty popular and talked about a lot. But civil engineering, I get a lot of questions like, what exactly do you do? Like, I don't understand. And my best answer that I've sort of crafted over the years is it's very broad, but also very technical at the same time. And sort of everything that you rely on to get to work, to go home, to go to the hospital, your water, sort of everything is touched by a civil engineer. So you can have, I co-op with Nicholson, so that's a geotechnical company. So they're very big on geotechnical engineering, but someone who graduates with the same civil engineering degree from Pitt could go into water resources, which is different. And then you have your structural engineers as well. So it's very broad, but we basically do infrastructure. Is the easiest way to put it.
Yeah. Yeah, but I've been doing this for a little while now, and my wife sometimes still like doesn't know. Like she gets surprised when I'm working on something but some of my projects are so different. One day I might be working on a stream project, but another that I'm working inside a building, and it just seems so different to some other buddy. But to me, they're all engineering. It's all problem solving and trying to make the world better.
Yep.
So as president of the Pittsburgh section, one of my core, one of my goals and one of my passionate areas is, student development and, the progression from student to a professional. Is an area that as the society is also focusing on. It's an area that we need to improve on, that, we tend to lose a lot of student members after they graduate that don't maintain ASCE membership. Do you have any advice for me and maybe the presidents that follow me for the section on how we can be better, not just to keep students, members later, but really just to help students as they transition to becoming professionals?
Yeah. Well, it's definitely difficult during a pandemic. I will say that. And you've done a great job. I think the most beneficial things for us as students is, hearing from you guys, sort of like what the profession really is like. The networking events, like, encouraging student chapters to do networking events with you guys so you guys can, go and talk to them. Obviously, it'll probably be on Zoom for the next couple of months at least. But if it's in person, actually physically going to the campus and talking with them, sort of like what my daily life is like as a civil engineer, stuff like that. And then encouraging, I think a lot of students don't know what the benefits are of being a national ASC member once they graduate, because a lot of students are doing ASC for the community of students that you have and, Concrete Canoe, for example, all of the fun stuff that comes with being a student member of ASC. But once you get to the professional level, I don't think all of us really know, like, what does it mean to be an ASC member as a graduated adult?
Yeah. Well, that's good advice, and I think I take that to heart, and I do think there's great value to it. It comes back to something that, to me, one of the most important things is that network, and the things that you like about ASE as a student are very similar as you become a professional. You get to meet people from around the world, really, that are ASE members, and it provides a really good safety net, sounding board when you don't know how to solve a problem for one of your clients. The answer is only an email away. So I appreciate that, and I appreciate your response to that, and we'll be sure to take that to heart as an organization. So now I got a little bit different type of question for you. Asking you to get your magic 8-ball out, or your crystal ball, and tell me where you see the future of civil engineering going in the next 5, 10, 25 years.
It's a tough question because I feel like if you asked me 5 years ago, I would not have pictured a pandemic to happen. So it really just shows how anything could happen. We have no idea really 5 years before, but I do think something I know for certain is I think we are going to lean towards starting to implement green infrastructure in our buildings and sort of infrastructure in general is going to be more sustainable in the next 5 to 10 to 25 years. At least that's something I hope we start leaning towards is, focusing on the environment more. We focus on safety, quality, and profitability a lot, but also, a fourth pillar of environment, and that impact would be a good addition, I think. And not only greener cities, but smarter cities. We're really amping up our technology use, especially now, and I think we'll see that also go up as well. But I think, sticking to the same like roads, bridges, and dams as well.
Yeah, that's a great answer, and I hope that is true. I do agree. That fourth pillar is an important one, and I think that you're spot on. And as you said, anything can happen, and anything will. I think anything will happen. So with your help, I think we can get and do some amazing things in the future. We're coming near our end. I really only have one more question for you, and that's maybe the most important one of all. Is who would you like to thank for being recognized as a Student of the Year?
There's a lot of people, but really quickly, the entire civil engineering department at Pitt, especially Dr. Bunger and Dr. Sachs, and the entire ASC exec board, as well as the entire ASC Pitt ASC sort of organization, the Region 2, obviously, as well, for all of the opportunities with the conferences. And, that's where the workshop for student leaders is where I learned a lot as well. And that was very helpful. And then, my mom and dad, my brother as well, maybe my dog. Yeah. They definitely helped just keeping me sane. But it's been a lot of sort of what we talked about earlier is every accomplishment I've had, there's a whole team behind me, making it happen, as well as all of my hard work. So yeah, if I didn't mention anyone, I'm definitely forgetting people, but there's a lot of people to thank for this. But yeah.
Well, I'm sure even those that you missed are still proud of you. So
yeah.
Yeah, well, with that, I want to give you my congratulations again.
Thank you.
And thank you for your time. I know you're busy both with your studies and working your co-op. You have a job now, so I appreciate you making some time to speak with me and to the section and our members who will be seeing this. So with that, thanks again. I really enjoyed talking with you, Izzy. I learned a little bit. And I hope our members get to watch this and learn like I have. So with that, congratulations. And
thank you.
Again, to the section, I want to just present Isabel Lee, the Region 2 Student of the Year.
Thank you.